Of Premier League football, it's a national league tumeona, but France won. France is a team that comprises of Paul Pogba, Martial, Varane, all of Manchester United. So at least, you know, teams that have enough will always win. But that is beside the point. Today is Tuesday, and but very quickly, since we didn't do it yesterday, tafadhali Harambee Stars mwache mchezo. Ni hayo tu kwa sasa. Now, today is Tuesday. We want to talk about an interesting topic here, and it is called Can We Stay? A while back, 2012, I guess, the court or they tried to put a law that says that ukikana mtu 6 months, boom, you're deemed to be married. However, now there's the presumption of marriage, which is now normally argued in court. But do Can We Stay relationships work? What are the rules of engagement? Huyo mtu anakucheza, and it's both sides, by the way. Siku hizi the field is level. Kuna ma boys wakoko rockers as Major would say, and pia kuna magalde pia wanachezwa. But do you think Can We Stay relationships can work? And that's the question that we're asking you today. Do you think Can We Stay relationships can work? The hashtag to use is Daybreak. The SMS line is 22422. We have with us Roberta Bobby. How you doing?
Sasa.
Uko salama? Wasalmi?
Niko fiti sana. Unasikia poa?
Unasikia poa?
Relax.
Long weekend imekuwa sawa.
Yeah, I needed it. I think Monday should just be part of the weekend so that, like, because now today I'm well rested. I'm ready for it.
There are actually some countries that are trying to do that, to have a 3-day weekend.
Yeah.
I don't know if it will start on Friday or end on Monday.
What to Monday?
Jaden, if you want to endear yourself to Kenyans during a crisis, you do the thing. Pass a law. Shut up, boy.
Wagwan.
What a bad man thing.
Feeling aire?
Feeling fresh and crisp.
Ambia Jaden nasikilize Reckless. Monday.
That Tuesday nikatu.
Monday.
Wednesday.
Tungojee sherehe.
Kabisa.
La 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 la.
Ala.
Harambee Stars ilituangusha bro. Kwa cricket ya 6-0.
Imagine.
Bana hata nyumbani hata ile hata upigwe vita na mtu, si unampiga hata unamdunga macho. Nasemaga I poked his eye.
At least there's the scars of war.
To sure.
Yeah.
But ni sawa.
Big shout out to Nick Mwendwa.
Ombokla.
And we have CJ Atemo.
How are you doing?
Fine, thank you.
Yeah.
You're doing well?
Very well.
Are you ready for the weekend to come? And many other weekends. I'll be on your case. We shall see how it is. All right, guys, so we're going to talk about this. First thing I want to just ask, I think, why do people love the Can We Stay, let's say Kenyans, because we are in Kenya. Why Kenyans love the Can We Stay situation? I guess that's what no, that's different from a situationship. Can We Stay? Why do Kenyans like it? What do you think, Roberta? I
think because they work. Some of them really work, and I feel like it's an okay way to go with your relationship. Also, Nikki, speak for Kenyans. I think Kenyans love it because hakuna hizo vitu mingi zinakutai legally to a lot of things, and then there's also the presumption of less seriousness, that you can always walk out in case you feel like things are not working. And I think it just works. For the moment, it works. So that's why many Kenyans, or rather many people living in the world, are looking towards going this way. So if I were to do it, okay, I don't know, let me not say if I were to do it, but for guys who do it, I think they do it because it works. It fits their situation, and then also it's less expensive, it's less taxing in terms of, involving so many other people. It's just, it's enough, it's okay for whatever situation you're in. Yeah, that's why I think wase wanapenda ku lean towards the side.
But I think is the biggest, CJ, is the biggest, what do you call it? The thing that draws people to it, is it the exit clause? Because you can be like, okay, it's not working, it's been real, peace and love. We're even going to talk about the one where hata familia uju unaishi na ujama, lakini muko together. But could that be one of the reasons why?
Well, let me start by addressing something that Roberta mentioned, which is that it is less costly. That may not be necessarily true, because people can go to the AG's office and formalize a marriage. It won't cost them too much. There'll just be the two of them and their witnesses. So it doesn't...
If a man is telling you, we are not getting married because it is expensive.
That's a lie. That's a lie. It could be anywhere. Anybody that can officiate marriages can have it in their office, as long as they're witnesses, as long as there has been adequate time to put out the notice over there that these two people intend to get married. And once it is cleared, for example, at the AGs, that the two of you are eligible for marriage, then nothing really stops you from getting married. So it is not costly. And I need to say that mostly the people who prefer the come we stay are the men. More generally, the men. Over time, you will find the ladies, even if they got into it from the come we stay perspective, they will begin asking for documents because they want to feel safe. No matter how long they've stayed there, they might have children. You know, you remember there was a case recently, a judge said, look, no matter how long you've lived together, you're not married. So the woman will be thinking about the elements like the children. So if this needs to break, or if we part ways, where am I going with all these kids? Rarely do women want to leave their children over there. So for me, I think the greatest factor is convenience, expediency, and mostly, as I said, with the men, you know, come, sleep over. The second weekend sleep over, then he feels like, oh, so he can get the company, he can get free goodies.
Buy one, get one free.
Yeah, he'll get free goodies. He'll get other stuff. So for the convenience of it, the guy just feels like, why don't you just come in and be in here? It's just basically that, you know.
Convenience. Now, of course, the ones that are recognized by the types of marriage recognized by Kenya is the civil marriage, which CJ has mentioned, the Christian marriage, pia kuenda mbele ya madhabahu. Kuna wale wanapenda kuenda mbele ya madhabahu. And then customary marriage, and then Islamic marriage and Hindu. Come stage andikwa pale. Aya basi, shut up boy. Do you think that they can work?
Sasa mbona unacheka ukiniuliza? Unaona mimi tu
No, nimecheka the general statement.
But you think I cannot go to a church?
Yes.
Lakini uko right. Ngumu uniona hapo mbele kidogo na suti haitawezekana. Mimi maoni yangu, number 1, rebellion. Unaona Wakenya ni watu, hata si Wakenya, binadamu tu. Binadamu hapendi kufuata sheria. Unaona? Number 2, freedom. Unaona, empowerment. Let me call it empowerment. So zamani dem alikuwa anaishi kwao mpaka kuja kuolewa. Unaona? So ungemwende hivi. Una get? Haingekuwa kama mistake umemchukua tu kwao. But sasa dem anaishi kwake, unaishi kwako. Mna meet kama watu wazima huko nje. Unaelewa? Hiyo kidogo anahamia kwako, hiyo vile sija nimesema 1 week, 2 weeks mnafilai. Now I'm getting the milk, why am I buying the cow? And I'm getting the milk. Unaona? Inakuwa.
Unaanza kusema ni kuna maana tulipa rent mbili.
Sasa nini? Hiyo ndio tunaharibu, tunafanya nao kitu kingine. Unaona Kianza kumake husband wife decisions. Bado mna date. Hivyo mnajipata mshaingia. Unaelewa? So hiyo empowerment pia that watu sasa waishi kwa wazazi wao anymore, unidi kumwendea kwa wazazi inachangia pia. Alafu watu wana opt for the easy way out. It is the easy way out. Unaget, tuna feel accountability haiko. Unaelewa? But the part of walk away sio rahisi. Juu utaamua walk away, yule mwingine amwata walk away, aende kotini, mtasumbuana tu bado. Unaelewa? But love, unaona, ni kitu ya kwanza you should consider. It is what brings you together. That love. Alafu inakuonesha hai. Mbona sasa tusumbuana uchali na anado? Na ako nayo. But last time we said here, when the heart feels, the brain empties. Unaget? So kuna hiyo watu wana feel, let's take the easy way out. Let's take the easy route. Na inakuwa, and we can't wish it away. And yes, it works. And it can work. Unaelewa? But lazima uko unajua uliingia nani kwa hiyo relationship. Uliingia nani kwa hiyo marriage. Unaget? And you don't get there and get comfortable. Unajua hata hiyo yenye cabinet ilikuwa inasema 2012, walikuwa wamesema if you cohabit with a person for 6 months, lazima chief chief wa hiyo area ratify.
Unaget.
So ati juu tumekaa 10 years amjeenda kwa chief atakwambia tukujui. You have to be responsible.
10 years. I mean, people get heartbroken as well, but you know, we'll get there. I think Shatta's mentioned something there, which is rebellion. I guess there are many people, in fact I think I know 4, I wouldn't mention any names, so you guys relax, who are living together and the parents don't even know. And the reasons are yani, wazazi hawaelewi bana, wamekataa either kuchukua mtu ama ku accept. So do you think rebellion is a strong reason and that parents should ease up, man? You sasa even unapitwa tu 5 years later for one of them. Sitakutaja jina.
I actually support that kind of rebellion in certain circumstances. I feel like it can be valid whereby you're like in that situation. I wouldn't know the situation that that person is in, why they decided, you know, they don't want to involve their family and everything. So matters of love, I don't think ata watu wengine kuna need a lot of external advice and pressure, and it's good to listen to what other people have to offer in terms of good advice and things like that. But if people don't really support what you want, if it's someone you love and it's someone you want to be with, I don't think there's much advice anyone can give you at that point. It's just you who decide, what do you feel, how do you see the situation, what do you think about it. So in the situations whereby the parents are probably against it, maybe it's because of things like religion or
tribe,
you know, and different things. Kuna vitu tu unaweza lenga, honestly. I'm not gonna break up with someone I'm in love with because we're from different tribes. That's not because my parents don't agree. That's not something that I would advocate for, you know, because love is diverse. People come from different places, different situations, and it's okay for you. If you feel like this is going to work for you, then go ahead with it. But then I don't think that's a good place to start a relationship. From a point where there's so much controversy and, you know, rebellion, and you're fighting all these things, maybe you also need to take a step back and think about, is, you know, the consequences of this situation. How will it be? What do I intend to do in 5 years? How do I intend to see things going, etc, etc. So while rebellion, I agree that rebellion might be a factor as to why guys just decide, okay, can we stay? We're going to ignore everyone and do this, you know, we're in love and whatever. I just think you need to weigh, you need to be very, very smart about the decisions you make. Because just like all these other marriages, you have to be very accountable. You have to be very respectful. You have to know that this is responsibility. Just because haijakuwa officiated in front of a church or sijui what, it doesn't mean that your relationship is less important than other relationships. So all these things still stand. All these things in other relationships and marriages, whatever, they still stand. Yeah.
And CJ, what would be the because that happens a lot, especially now, like of course there could be tribe and all these things, but then how can somebody, because there are many, and I know you all also know friends, probably you also know, you know, who their parents have no idea, and it's been like 5 years, so you wonder, they don't communicate, hawakujangi nyumbani, ama akikuja nyumbani una exile, unatoa remnants, nguo mnaficha, like how can somebody stay that long? Like, is it because the parents and the children are not connected? Or
there could be fear if people are afraid of what they think their parents would say. They may want to hide it. You know, there are certain decisions that you make, and you know that anybody else getting to know about that decision won't agree with it.
So is that a good or a bad thing in that case?
I don't think it is a good thing. I think that when you have valid reasons to do something, you need to be able to stand up for it. Even if people don't agree with it, but you bring it out and say, this is what I need to do, this is what I want to do. If they disagree with it, you have given your reasons why you're doing it, they've given their reasons, and then eventually you say, but I still feel I need to go this direction. Because you see, sometimes we treat marriage as an island, but it's not. However much you love this person, you're still going to need so many other people in here.
That's my dad's favorite line. You come from a community, Willis.
Yeah, you're still going to need people. So initially when you're in love, you think you just need the two of you, and the two of you are each other's world. As you grow,
Us against the world.
Yeah, and that is a very good, or rather that is a very interesting place to start from, because when you have a common enemy, you never see the flaws in yourselves. You're fighting everybody, so you feel the two of you are very connected. After a while, the world won't be fighting you. 3, 4, 5 years down the line, all these other people won't be a factor. You have to face each other. And when you start facing each other and you realize there are certain things about the two of you that are not working, see, you also still need to have your own friends, you still need to have your own family, you still need to have your own colleagues, all of that, because we live in a whole ecosystem. So sometimes there's a fear element, sometimes the beginning of it is a pregnancy. Maybe there's people who are in college, or the parents don't even know that the girl has ever seen a man, you know. They know that they have the most innocent virgin in their house. Then she has conceived. She doesn't know how to go back home. She doesn't have money. She will feel like just going in with a man. Finances is a huge factor why people even move in, especially when pregnancy issues have come in. Of course, those are the guys also who will be coming into a girl's house when they feel she's comfortable and vulnerable. And they will be coming in and they'll be talking about how they're taking care of the house while she's away. And they're taking a car to the garage. And I'll pick you up in the evening. I'll drop you. I'll pick you. And all of that. And then the guy will be sitting over there, you know, with popcorns, watching movies the whole day and sitting over there lazy and asking for, send me fuel so I come and pick you. There's also that kind of stuff. And so the woman, she may not know how to tell the parents. I think, but the basic thing about this is usually fear and how these people have learned their communication over time. They're guys, even when they need to have it the right way, or rather, what would be the right way, the conventional way, they still have to go through third parties because they don't know how to approach their parents. So it's a mixture of factors, but the major one is fear.
Fear is a factor that karibu niseme naogopa fear. But it's quite something. So if there is that fear, there is another fear. So this is what people are told growing up. Your parents will tell you, especially if you're a lady, ukitaka ku mwanamume, well, of course in this world now anything's possible, but ukitaka mwanamume akuoe, usikubali kuishi na yeye. Because like you're saying, have your what do you say about the meal and the meat? If you have the meat, you don't need to buy the cow.
Yes, sir.
So like, do you think such a statement is true? Like, ukiwa na mwanaume kama stay, more likely than not, huenda mtaenda through, like CJ saying, the actual process, like to solemnize the union.
Inategemea ni mtu kona yako aje. What values zake ni gani?
Male or female or both?
Both are them.
Either.
Unaget values zake zinampeleka aje na feel kama hujaandikiwa message ukaambiwa na ujue umeniharibia maisha. You haven't started living. Hujaanza kuishi.
Ujue umeniharibia maisha.
Ujue umeniharibia maisha. Kama umeniua.
My God.
Ikiandikwa sana mother tongue.
It's bad.
It's
We
different.
translate it in your head now.
Tieka.
Sasa message kama hizo, kama hiyo umeniharibia maisha, na wewe ni chalume andike message kama hiyo, first of all it throws you on the defense. Unaget now you have to defend your action or what you did. Umemharibia maisha kwa kina nani? Lazima usafishe rada huko. Unaelewa? So wewe fanya hivi, watasema ulipata ball kwa barabara, kama tukae. Unaelewa? But sasa mkishakaa, to formalize the thing or not depends on how both of you relate and what you believe in. Unaget? So dem atakwambia by the way, before ball ionekane tuende home. Uko na tu wazazi wangu. Unaelewa? Kama anajua wazazi wake pia ni understanding that aspect. Unaelewa? Pia wazazi huchangia sana watu kukaa tu hivyo bila kuwaambia. Another thing is, you see in African tradition, most traditions, your parents can't come to your house na wakae. Like they will visit, maybe wende walale kwa hoteli ama get, especially kaza kama uko below, wewe ni mtoto uko chini kabisa, sio rahisi kuja kwako kuishi. Unaelewa? So you would live with a girl for 3 years and your parents wouldn't know, or her parents, because they don't visit you. Ni wewe ukitoka leo unaenda ushago, they see you, they think you're okay, nini unarudi Nairobi to live the other life that they don't know. One day you just show up with a grandchild. Oh, by the way, you have a grandchild. 7-year-old child. Pop, hola. Oh, this is your grandfather, by the way. Unaona? Ni juu society tunaishi inatuallow. Society tunaishi inatuallow kuweka hizo curtains. Hizo pazia tumeweka sana na society ina allow. Una get? So if tunaweza kana dem that long, ajeniambia niende kwao, it means kwao kuna shida kubwa sana. Nimeweka na dem that long, sijaimwambia tuende kwetu, it means kwetu kuna shida. Unaelewa? That is where the problem starts. Family.
Family is the first place.
Yes.
So family is the problem to start family. It's quite interesting. Or to hide family, hiding family from one person or another. Let me get it. Let's say from a lady's perspective, Roberta, do you think that? I mean, in circles, I hate with ladies as well. I guess it's passed down from parents to ladies and saying that, oh, the man won't take you seriously if you're in a Kamu stay. He'll never ever take you seriously. So is that a major risk, and how can a lady, kind of talk through it so that asikue vulnerable kwa hii group, asikue out of the at risk people?
First of all, in any situation you're in, whether you get pregnant before you guys can define whatever you have, or you guys are in a situationship, relationship, these are the conversations you guys need to have. You need to understand each other's values, each other's long-term goals, whatever you have in mind. Because unaweza kuwa unakuja kwangu watch Netflix the whole day and I do not see marriage anywhere in my life, and you're thinking, one day this girl, I'm going to marry her, and if we haven't had that conversation, or you don't know where my mind is at with the whole thing, you will never understand. And I agree with Shatta, whereby he said that sorry, Shatta, what did
religion?
Oh,
kwa leo pazia ya familia.
Oh yeah, with fear. Okay.
The curtains.
Yes.
So with different people, it's just people are very different.
7 years.
If you do not talk about this, by the size hawezi categorize yako, watakuwa very acceptive. They'll be very happy. Oh, they'll be very loving. But ukishow up na ball in the beginning, they might be very angry at you.
So what's that? My common phrase when I'm weighing things on my scale, it is better to ask for forgiveness than permission.
Sele usha make mistake.
It's tough.
So people are very different. I don't think there's a formula whereby you can say, this guy, if he's doing this, he's not going to marry you, or if you decide to come with stay, he'll never take you seriously. It's not one size fits all. It's not everyone who's like that. People are very, very different. Maybe this guy in his mind, this is what he wants for now, for whatever reasons he has. Maybe whether it's the fear, whether it's the rebellion, whether it's issues with his parents or finances or decisions he needs to make, or whatever he's at just in his mind frame at that time. So it's not, I wouldn't say, yeah, we're told a lot of times, Uchali, sijui nini, he won't take you seriously. If you go live with him before he's done this, he won't. But how many times do people do all these things, follow all these steps, and still don't follow through in the marriage, still don't stay faithful, still don't take you seriously, don't respect you, are abusive? People are very different.
Right.
So I'd say have conversations and get to know your person. Jueni kama mko on the same page, kama mko na the same goals, kama mko na the same vitu, kama nataka vitu the same, so that it's not 6 months down the line you're saying your Kamu stay relationship is very valid. Now Charlie amejua tu amekuwa hapa for weekends for the goodies and he's just enjoying himself. So yeah, people are very different. I wouldn't say ati if someone tells you, if you Kamu stay with this guy, he won't do. No.
It's different.
People are very, very different. It's just wewe kujuana na mse wako, and then you make your decisions. Yeah.
All right. And CJ, there's a very popular phrase, especially this. I'll ask this because most people make this argument in the church. They say, "Nitaishi aje? How will I know it will work? How will I know that we are compatible unless niishi naye over a period of time before you get married?" The guys who do this, they wanaishi naye kama 3 to 6 months, like Roberta said. Then they take a break during premarital for 3 months. Then they get back together. So is that a valid reason that I have to know if this person is right for me? From kuishi pamoja to some people say even goodies, I have to know.
No, it's not a valid reason, because eventually emotions will be very vested in there. No matter how much people will say, we're just trying it out. I know of somebody who told me once, like that, a friend somewhere who said, you know, we're trying it out for 1 year. If it doesn't work,
1 year?
Yeah.
What is it?
So if it doesn't work, then we get out.
Okay.
But you see, within this 1 year, you're doing everything as a couple.
That's right, yeah.
So you won't just wake up and say, okay, it doesn't work. Then you go to the next person and say, let's try it again for 1 year, see whether it will work. Then you move to the next person. So if you have dated 5 people, you've spent your 5 years, you know,
we have a
holding
new president
people in the night. I think even when you're done with that, you need therapy.
Yeah.
Because your heart is all over the place, your emotions are all over the place. What Roberta says, you see, you can easily pick up somebody's values. And that is the importance of getting to know people before you move in with them. You can pick up somebody's values. You can get to see their temperaments. You can have very informal meetings with them. It is important to actually know their family. Whether you're going to the AG, to the church, no matter where, you need to know that. Because some of these genes are going to show up, you know. And so some of those genes, they'll show up, including their demons, will show up somewhere. You need to know, how was this person raised? If they've gone through childhood trauma, stuff like that, those things are going to show up. If they've got this very legalistic parents, there's a way this is going to show up somewhere. You need to know. You need to know where this person is coming from, because you're dealing not with a machine, you're dealing with a human being.
Right.
And you will never completely figure them out. See, even if you live with somebody for 20 years, you won't completely figure them out, because they're constantly changing. They're consistently changing. You are changing yourself. You are not the same person that you were last year or 2 years ago. Your perspective is very different. The way you see things is very different. So you can never get to the place where you say, I've lived with this person enough to know that they will be either my husband, or for men, it will be the mother of my children. It's a very weird way of
and then some men even say, lazima nitafute mtu atanipatia a boy, first of all. So they try girl, they try again, girl. Now, okay, now let me look somewhere else. Try.
Yes.
And it's them.
I know of a family. We were friends growing up, and they had an uncle whose first wife had 7 girls because he was looking for a boy. 7 girls. So somewhere along the line, this lady passed, and then he remarried, and he was trying to get a boy, and he got twin girls. So he actually had 9 girls trying to get a boy. You know, there's certain things you go into also by faith. Because anything, you can get that boy, and then that boy is a challenged kid, a special needs child or something. Children die sometimes, children fall sick. So even if you get the boys that you want, you still are not very sure that it's going to be a smooth ride. They can grow up and get very lost somewhere in their life. You know, they can become very troublesome at 13. They can go into drugs at 14 and stuff. I think we have to understand that life is not lived in a straight line. Every day you wake up, you are hopeful that things will work out for you. But you also must expect that things could go a very different way. Right. You'll never be completely certain how that will go.
Right, so we have some feedback here. Life is not lived in a straight line. Karibu tumalize na vile bado tuko na time. That was like the pow. The
hapo kwa huyo anko akona 9 daughters.
Yes.
Hata sisi tuko 9 brothers.
So uko tu sawa.
My mom has 9 sons.
Wewe
alikuwa anatafuta daughter, hakupata.
Kwa mimi usikia ni Charlie ndo ana determine hizo.
Wangetupigisha mahesabu mapema au akina CJ.
Wangekwambia mambo ya straight line.
9 men. We are 9 men and
there are 9 daughters. They would have wangwa unganisha kitabu is a good thing.
18 becomes 9.
You have to know that. All right. We have some feedback, some tweets here. Tafadhali niweke kwenye 24 ndo nione, because for now I can't. Nowadays weddings is losing meaning. Well, okay, there you go. Hold up. Just give me a minute. Nyinyi nyumbani someni. All right, thank you very much. Apo sawa Sheshi. Evans_Arwiga. Nowadays, wedding is losing meaning. Why you involve many stakeholders and it doesn't work? Can we stay work during the time of our grandparents? Okay. Flavia Minza. For some reason, I feel like Can We Stay lasts longer than most marriages. It's risky to think that someone can decide to wake up and walk away because both of you aren't bound by a piece of paper. But at the end of the day, to each their own. Hey, Engineer Lazaro, women of these days are using pregnancy to trap men into a gold-digging relationship. Yeah, talk deep. And next says it can work, bora you respect each other. Simeon or Simon, marriage is love, not peppers and cakes. Blank. Can we stay in Aweza? I'm married for 12 years with 3 kids. So wait, so can we, so I want to get, I don't know what they mean. Is it that they've been together for 12 years or they were in a Can We Stay, then they got married?
He's in a Can We Stay marriage and he has 3 kids.
For 12 years?
Yes.
Wow. Okay, that's good. I know of one, actually, it went on for years, 20-something. The children have never seen, you know, like when unafikanga nyumbani kuna zile album. Like kuangalia, this is where we got married. Auntie yako alikuwa na car. Hey, there was none of that. There was no wedding pictures.
What Shada said about the values of the person. Again, we have to ask ourselves why people stay in marriages.
Right.
Even including that Can We Stay.
Right.
By the time you have 3 kids, probably nobody wants to leave. And it doesn't mean it's because they really love what they're doing. It may just mean the investment is too much for them to pick up and leave, especially like for the lady. Men would easily leave, but if the lady wants to stay, the people who keep the home together are the ladies. The day she leaves, the marriage dies. If she stays there, then the marriage continues. So by the time she has like 3 children, sometimes she's feeling like it's too much work to begin getting to know somebody else, carry myself into the next relationship and stuff. So even, and that is true even for conventional marriages, you know, people stay for very many reasons. Some people will stay until their kids grow. But they left when the kids were young. And then they stay till the kids grow. When the kids go to campus, they leave.
They leave. It's a wrap.
To make sure that the kids grow. So it is also not very good for us to brag about it's worked. Because you never know, unless both of you are telling us you really want to be in this particular thing. But I'll say this, Willis, because after this, Roberta will talk. But I'll tell you this. There's a reason why Balala said, you know, you want to adapt a hyena, it takes 2 million. It's very costly, very costly to adapt a hyena.
If you know, you know. Yani unalipa 2 million ndo uitwe fisi. Anyway, Robert, you're going to say something. CJ said after him you'll talk.
Si maybe hapo kwa fisi. Bata hapo sawa nayo. Ako tu sawa na hiyo fisi.
Like nah.
Lakini unajua kiukweli bila kuangalia uptown life in the ghetto, Can We Stay is the norm and it's working. You know people that met like wazazi walipatananga tu mtaani, wamegrow ya ghetto, wamelea watu wenu wakubwa na wako pamoja tu. Unaget, it is their way of living. Kuna watu wana ushago hii Kenya. Unaget, unapata mtu ako Kibra na huko ndio kwao. Mtu ako Kayole na huko ndio kwao. Unaelewa? Na Can We Stay in such areas, it works. Probably it could work because they don't know there's another formula to it. It is their way of living, but it works. Kuna area inawakigi proper. Tunapata watu hiyo na grow. Na huyo mtu yeye kigrow pia leo wazazi wake wale wanatu hivyo mtaani pia atafanya the same. It is inherited. It is cultured in him. Amegrow akiona this is the way to do things. Mtu kama huyo ukianza kumletea system tofauti anakuwa wewe sasa unataka kuniletea ubabi. Now you unaniingiza kwa system. Unaona? So pia hiyo ni factor upbringing ya mtu. Amegrow ni sawa na you see me have been brought up in a polygamous family. And for the longest time while growing up, I thought polygamy is the way to go. Thing. I thought people living in monogamous families have a problem. I thought, what is wrong with you? I have 2 mothers. Why do you have one? So kitu na drill kwa mtoi akigrow ni kitu inakuwa part of him, unaelewa. So when you grow up and this is how you saw things happening, you will do things the same way, and people will see fault in it but you won't, and you will think they are crazy for seeing fault in it, unaelewa. So upbringing matters too.
Upbringing matters, and why do you think though, because every time we talk about it, people like to mention the fact of it worked, someone say that it worked for our grandparents. Why do you think it used to work? Is it because we can't say that Christianity haikuwa imefika, si ilikuwa?
Yes.
Because when I was reading the updated act here, 2014, it did say it is union between two people, monogamous, no, union between a man and a woman, monogamous or polygamous. Iko hapo ndani kwa katika katiba. So what do you think it used to work?
But with our grandparents, it was not a come state thing. It's just that there was no church. People
No, but Christianity ilikuwa imefika.
Yes, but there was customary.
Oh,
No,
yes, customary.
Yeah, so,
okay.
and it is a form of marriage.
Okay.
So with our grandparents, you used to go to the girl's place,
Right.
or send your parents. They go, they get the girl.
Okay.
So there is a form of thing. As long as people just
Ratios.
unaget, it used to happen. So ikukuwaga ati come stay hivyo. Actually zamani dem angejipeleka kwa chali alikuwa anaendea brother zake. Yes.
Na unalipa fine.
Vibaya sana. Ati sasa you've taken our sister and you want to be okay in this village, you took our sister. The brothers would come for her. Na kama ana brothers cousins wangetumwa. Wangeassembliwa na wazee ndio mchukue dem. Anarudishwa kwao forcefully. Ukimtaka sasa wewe muende kwao, unaget. It was a way of safeguarding the girl. Unaelewa? But sasa siku hizi
family respect.
Si ndio, uweke heshima na pia utresha ude ulimchukua kwao na heshima, unaelewa. But sasa hiyo kumprotect, siku hizi dem anazaji protect na do. Unaelewa? Juu anaishi Nairobi, mkiachana need kwenda kwao kulia, anakomboa tu nyumba hapo next. Anaendelea na maisha ni kama uko na exist. So hiyo protection already wako nayo through this empowerment. Unaelewa? Hiyo part mbona moja expand?
Genio.
Yeah, empowerment.
Ya kupata pesa. Because kila mtu akiwa na do, I'm telling you, kuna vitu zinaacha kukua, zina kumekia sense. Hiyo dem kuinsist uende kwao ilikuwa protection to her. But right now, mtaachana mpiganie kotini watoi na yeye ako na maisha yake anaendelea. Wewe pia kama mwanaume uko na maisha yako unaendelea.
But kuinsist kwenda kwao, it was protection, but I think also there was an element of is it honoring the parents?
It's honoring the parents.
Yeah.
Na pia inamprotect.
Yeah.
Inamprotect first of all from you, kumbeba ndogo, na pia wazazi wake kumdison. Sasa
Na pia kujuana.
Respect both sides.
So from both sides wajuane.
Yeah.
Because you bring together families from both sides. You know, it is taboo for you then to go and marry somebody that you are related with. So it's important for
My grandmother Joyce Nyairo, God rest her soul, used to say that lazima umlete nyumbani, unaweza kuwa unaoa kazini yako wewe.
Bana.
Achana nayo. Achana nayo.
Yeah. So there's that element, and I still feel that it is important. I still feel respect the family from where this person came from. Just, it's a matter of respect. Let's leave alone the rules, the finances, just the matter of respect that you went to this family, this girl grew up somewhere, this guy grew up somewhere. Let the families get to know, and then you start off your life and move on. You'll do whatever you want later on. I want to mention something about what Shatta said about the empowerment. It's actually a false empowerment, because the women are mostly empowered financially, but not emotionally.
This is in the Kamiste setup.
The one he's saying that, you know, girls today, they can move to the next house and rent their own house, so they're empowered, so they feel like they need to go home. It's a false feeling of security, because all we have done is to empower our girls financially, economically. But emotionally, are they doing better? Are they stabler than their mothers? Do they have a greater sense of stability and strength emotionally? Are they making better decisions than the people who were there before? I'm not very sure that's true.
Excuse you, kuna mbogi. Emotion support.
Emotional support.
They just have a gang that will mislead them in the name of support.
I think in this day and age where there's so much information that we can easily acquire, I think guys are getting smarter, guys are getting to learn a bit more. Kuna knowledge out there. So in as much as we're not really being empowered, like CJ said, emotionally and all these things. Are we better than our moms? We're not quite there, but we're getting there. So saizi financially is a nice step, like it's a foot in the door, you know. Right now we don't have to depend on men to get some things done, to do some things, to be able even to move on after a relationship, to get your house, to pay your bills, etc, etc. So I think it's a step in the right way. It's just that when it comes to easy conversations, the relationships, na marriage, na nini, we just need to all understand each other. And I don't mean in the like, because we're so different, as in I don't think we can ever begin to really understand each other. We're different as individuals, we're different species, we're different in gender, we're just different. But we need to be able, by the time you're settling on a partner, you need to be able to do a lot of compromise and a lot of communication and a lot of discussions so that you understand this person better and you're able to make decisions. So about women being empowered and nini, I'd say we need to take it positively and feel a bit better, because all of us need to get better. Even the boys need to get better. Even the women need to get better, because if the women are making their money and the men are growing more emotionally in tune with themselves, everyone is getting all this information. Now we know more about Can We Stay, we know more about customary, we know more about AG, we know about, you know, all these things, all these discussions we're having, they're very, very important. So I'd say, jua tu mtu wako before we make decisions. Hakuna one size fits all.
That's why Shatta would say the misleading. Why he would say misleading. Somebody put up a post the other day that, and this is a lady, she put up this post and said, you know, they'll be telling you never kneel to any man or something, and then they'll be going back home and serving their husbands so well. So you're reading their posts here on social media and you're
like, yes!
Empowered woman, and you're getting stuck here with no relationships while they're actually making theirs work. That's the misleading.
Yeah.
That's the misleading part. There are a lot of ladies who've got money, yes, but they're very miserable relationship-wise. And then they will come out and say, I'm fine, I don't need a man. Every day, I don't need a man, I'm fine. But secretly, they are trying to find
they need a man.
So that's I think the part that the misleading comes in.
Oh,
like
yeah.
There's this facade that we put out over there and not really come into the place of speaking the truth about where we are. Yeah.
And so
Same.
no, I was going to ask a question. But hold the point, then
let me say something then before.
Okay.
Guys, remember, social media is not real. It's not real. Stop. I'm very guilty of what you just said. I post things sometimes, but it's just because it's funny, it's relatable. But someone could see and say, you know, Roberta does not bend over or does not bow to any man. And then, sorry, does not bow to
Shatta, relax. Relax, Shatta boy.
Okay. You're alive.
does not bow. And at home, I
Rastaman
probably,
vibration.
Yeah, man.
and at home, I probably wash his feet and I make his meals and I do all these things, because love is very different. Ikifika kwa stories za love, hakuna ati mi siwezi fanya, utajipata ukifanya na ni juu nampenda, si ati juu anataka ama juu amesema. So do not fall for all these things on social media. Learn things for yourself. Get the extra research for yourself. Mingle with people. Learn from experience. Learn from real life stories, not from Roberta's post on Instagram. I have money, I don't need a man. I promise you, I'll post that, but afterwards, I'll just go see my man after that. And you won't know, because I won't post that part. But because you believe all these other things, please don't fall for social media and things like that. That's why I don't even believe in a lot of I don't like to just take advice from the internet just like that. I love to take my time and just go over it and learn a bit more, like what was CJ saying in his video. What can I learn more about what he was saying? How can I see, you know, the differences between what he's saying and what this other person is saying? Then I make my decision based off of what I've learned for myself. But if you just go on social media and nini, utaona hizo ma fake empowerment, fake lies, everything is just fake on social media.
Yeah, people have an amazing ability to post. Like unajua Shatta is a loud noisemaker. Is a noisemaker. Alafu he goes and posts something like silence is gold. Unashangaa unasema sasa.
What are you talking about?
Who say it's two different people.
Yeah.
Absolutely different people. But yeah, you had something to say.
But it's because you know what you post is your success. What you post is the fruit, not the seed. I could be making that noise to get that quote. Unaelewa? So when I post that quote, you think that is where the journey starts. Ukiwatch movies is medieval zamani, hata soldiers wakitrainiwa, like wakifight na swords and all, the person training the soldiers alikuwa anatrain akiwa javaa shati. Unaelewa? Why? For those soldiers to be able to see the scars in this person. Unaget? I am training you to be good. I have been where you are, and that's why I got injured this way before I became the person I am. Social media does not show you that part. Unaelewa? It shows you the success. Life, na mimi nachana nikisema, the generation that came before us did not give us the blueprint they had. Unaona? Sasa sisi tuna create your blueprint. Ndio watu wenye watakam wakamkuitumia. Unaelewa? That is another problem that we had. Kulikuwa na hiyo separation. They didn't take time to nurture us into their ways. So sisi sasa hii tunachana mbuga kivyetu. What we need to know is that this come we stay marriages are not going anywhere. They're here to stay. So the best thing you can do is to advise the people that will get into it. Because first of all, as it stands, dem kupata ball ni kama swag. Hao watu wadogo wana generation ina grow sahi. Dem kukuwa na mtoi ni swag. Unasikia mababy mama anakoga ameiva. Hiyo ndio ndiko kwa mtandao. And tomorrow she has a kid.
Debatable, but ref waves play on.
Quotes zile zinatembea kwa mtandao. Unaget siku hizi ni kama kukuwa na mtoi ni swag. Unaelewa? Na sio kitu ina change saa hii, it will happen. So before you get into a marriage with someone, kuna basic qualities that you need to look for. For a man, I think for me, if I were a lady, I would look minimum this person should have 4 hearts. Yani kofia nne. Number 1, this person must be a mentor. Unaget? This person must be a coach. This person must be a father. And this person must be a cheerleader. All in one. If you have such a person, you are guaranteed this person will spot something in you as a mentor. This person will train that thing in you as a coach. This person will guide you as a father. And this person will cheer you along as you achieve all these things. Unaelewa? But if you are with someone that wants you to help them become who they want to be without a care of you, it will fail. Even if you went to a church and even if you did a fundraiser ya 1 billion and did a wedding, it will still crash because the inner part of you is a human being that craves for these things. Unaelewa? You need to be able to identify these things in a person before you get to a point where you decide, now I'm staying with this person, I don't care what my parents say, I don't care what my friends say. Unaelewa? Alafu, you know, there are people you can't advise. Number 1, a young girl in love. Number 2, a young man with money. Unaelewa? Once uko na hizo vitu mbili, ku advise mtu kama huyo ni shida. Unaelewa? So sahi, before you become that young girl in love or that young man with money, just know before you decide to settle with someone, let them have these things. Otherwise utaishi maisha ya huzuni sana na makasiriko.
All right, we have some feedback here before we wind up. Some SMSs. I'm told they're coming in thick and fast. We'll take just a few though. Turudi kwa 24 jamaneni, so that we can check them out. We have a viewer there as we. Okay, I guess I'll just. Shata since unaiona nisome.
Anasema, I have been in a come stay marriage with 3 kids, but we eventually did traditional wedding.
Oh, maybe. Oh, is it the one who was picking it up from mule mwingine?
Ni mwingine utamejiongelelea.
Okay, all right. The next one.
Amesema come stay hainanga respect vile ile wanaheshimu ni ile ya kina Uhuru na Raila.
Wow. Okay.
At having been in a come we stay for 25, but I'm leaving, need a wedding to feel like others. Allah.
Wow. All right.
Viewer mwingine anasema, kindly involve God's blessings and abstain.
Wagwan.
Muofaya. Ma boys wa siku hizi wanataka tu wedding na hiyo kujaribu yao. Okay. Hiyo hatuwezi kuona.
Wacha nione. All right, let me see. I got into a certain relationship we agreed it will be a long term. Vile tulikaa like a year, akaanza kusema anataka kuzaliwa, nikapata ball. But that was the beginning of all problems. Vile nilimwambia anipeleke kwao, now that I'm pregnant, alikataa akasema ako ready kulea mtoi, but tuifanye chini ya maji. Hakuna kwenda kwao, neither hakuna kwenda kwetu. And yet he's not married. Na nikiona sitaweza abort mtoi. That's another topic for another day. When it comes to that very sad situation, CJ, what will you tell to that, I believe this is a lady, yes?
Happens a lot. Happens a lot. I think by the time a girl is getting intimate with a man, she needs to know that one of the possible consequences is a pregnancy. So she needs to count the cost. What if that happens? So what happens? If her values are like this girl saying she cannot abort, so are you able to take rejection and keep the pregnancy? If you see that all of these things are going to work against you, then do what the other gentleman said, abstain. Just stay away, because you will get affected. You'll be having a life growing in you for 9 months, and then you'll be raising that life for the next 40 years.
Yes.
Probably even longer, depends on who that is. So the thing of just going in and giving yourself in for the pleasure of the moment, you need to count the cost to it. I know the chemistry will be very strong, and then sometimes you think we love each other, and he's single, like she's saying, so maybe she thought, even if I get pregnant, the probability of us being together is very high. People don't marry you because they're single. They marry you because they want to marry you, you know. So there are many assumptions that people make as well. Over and over, I keep on hearing somebody talking about, you know, I went in the second month, I moved in, I'm 21, I'm 22. It's actually worse down there when they're quite younger, 21, 22, 19, 23, and they'll talk about, I moved in the second week, now I'm pregnant, he has changed. When you're with a guy probably who's 25, probably he doesn't even know what to do with you, leave alone with a baby. He's not ready for responsibility. He wanted the fun, but he wasn't ready for the responsibility. It's good for the young girls also to listen to some advice. They did not invent all this stuff. In fact, this is how you were conceived and how you came.
Yeah.
They didn't invent it, so they need to listen as well. Not all advice that comes from people who've been there before is bad, you know. Stay away if you can.
Right, well, we want to end it right there.
But kwa huyu mwenye ameandika, amesema kwa situation already. She's pregnant already, okay? So that man has no option but to be involved. Unaget, if the man decides not to be involved, there are legal avenues she should take. As he feel hopeless, kama una watch show, na jamaa amekataa kutake responsibility, kuna njia mingi, enda kwa hata just walk into any children's office. Kwa office za DO sana sana zinakuaga, ama kwa chief, explain your case, uchalia ataitwa apeleke na Rieng, akusaidie kule mto hiyo. Hiyo mlikuwa mnakula starehe pamoja, afai kuachia gharama peke yako. Haifai.
But it's the first relationship.
Si ndio, si mmeondokeana, lakini take responsibility. Yeah. Kama demo mwenyewe ana uwezo, na uchalia hata kama ako na uwezo, still this is your child you brought to this earth, you need to be responsible. Yeah. We are bringing up a generation of responsible men. Na kama una watch na ni wewe ndio uchali, usituangushe.
Wagwan. All right, step up to the plate. Well, thank you so much for watching. Make sure you follow CJ Atemo on all platforms. If you need any further advice as well, CJ Atemo, all platforms. Shatta Boy. On Wax Tikitaka every weekday, 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. Atakuwa pale Ndekani kwenye Radio Citizen akiwa na NQT na DJ Remo. Atakuwa tu aital tena sana. Roberta Bobby, follow at Roberta Bobby, follow www.loveandorgasms.com and ucheki vile mambo kunaenda huko. At the end of the day, we said it here so many times, katiba ni yako. Sit down, talk, decide what you want to do, and then do it. Consequences zitakuwa zako. Our work is just to tell you to put it up for discourse, then you hear the pros and cons and you decide on what to do. We do hope wenyewe vile Shatta amesema kama jamaa umepress finya huyo nini, tafadhali just be there. And hii mambo ya kufanya vitu chini ya maji tusiambie wazazi, waambie wazazi. Waambie so that everybody is in the know, and that way it might be scary but you might get help. But wewe mwenyewe unajua wazazi wako. If you think they're going to throw a tantrum ile mbaya, seek and hata na uncle. Yeah, there are many avenues. Just don't give up is what we're trying to say. Like we say, every problem has an expiry date. Even if that problem is somebody else. But then try as much as you can to work together. Successful people look like you and the great Manchester United. God loves you and that will never change. Mungu kubariki sana.